June 2025. A quiet Atlanta suburb. At 3:14 a.m., a convoy of unmarked vehicles surrounds a $5.6 million mansion. Inside, Gervonta Davis, boxing's unbeaten phenom, the face of a billion-dollar future, and the center of a federal investigation nobody saw coming.
Right here. Right.
Right here, guys. Right here.
What the federal agents uncovered inside that house would stun even the most loyal fans. Secret rooms, vaults of untraceable cash, surveillance footage, names that were never supposed to resurface. Let's break it down. Sources say federal agents executed a surprise raid on Gervonta Davis's multi-million-dollar Atlanta estate. No warning, no press leaks, nothing. Just boom, helicopters, SUVs, and a SWAT team-like entry. Neighbors thought it was a full-on movie shoot, but no, this was very real. The search warrant? Sealed. That means the public can't access the reasons behind it. But what we do know is this: it wasn't random. It was planned, monitored, tracked, and from what insiders are saying, it was triggered by months of suspicious financial activity tied to Davis's business ventures, and possibly something even deeper. We're talking about alleged off-the-books crypto deals, unregistered firearms, and a disturbing amount of unreported cash. Like bags, duffels, literal cash mountains. But it's what they found hidden in his panic room that really shook everyone, especially the boxing world.
Good afternoon, I'm Stefan Dingle. Welcome to those of you watching on CBS News Baltimore and here on WJZ TV. Updating the breaking news we first told you about at 9, boxer and Baltimore native Gervonta Davis has been arrested in South Florida on charges of domestic violence causing bodily harm. This is his mugshot that was just released to WJZ. At last check, he remains in custody at the Broward County Jail. And this is just the latest in his legal troubles. Davis is scheduled to appear in a Baltimore Circuit Court in February for his alleged involvement in an unrelated hit-and-run incident from November of 2020. Now, this latest arrest comes as Davis prepares to headline a boxing card in Washington, D.C. on January 7th. He was scheduled to fight lightweight Hector Luis Garcia. Now, still unclear this noon about how this latest arrest would affect that fight. WJZ is working to learn more about Davis's latest run-in with the law, and we will, of course, have the very latest coming up today at 4. Now,
that's right. Gervonta had a whole underground chamber hidden beneath his garage. Sounds like a Bond villain move, right? According to leaked footage and confirmed reports from local news, the room was built into the foundation. No external access. Only Gervonta and his private security team even knew it existed. It was stocked with security footage, hard drives, multiple phones, unlicensed weapons, and, you guessed it, stacks of cash wrapped in plastic, reportedly totaling over $4.2 million.
Ferrari 458 Italia worth $280,000.
The feds also found surveillance footage dating back 2 years. But here's the kicker. Some of that footage showed faces the feds had already been watching. People linked to past gang activity, illegal betting rings, and yes, even names tied to Mayweather's shady NYC real estate fiasco. The dots are connecting, and it ain't looking good. Yeah, this wasn't just some random early morning raid on Gervonta's crib. This was a direct ripple from the chaos surrounding Floyd Mayweather's FBI investigation. See, Floyd's been under the microscope for months now. Real estate fraud, crypto scams, unpaid lawsuits, even federal asset seizures.
Into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately, I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me.
And during all that digging, the feds started pulling strings that led them straight to Gervonta.
Even Mike Tyson. But what's so disappointing with me, Skip, Floyd Mayweather has gone through this before. What is it that you don't get? And I'm even more disappointed because you're on Instagram and on Twitter flaunting your opulence. You got bales and bales of money. You might have 30, 40 racks up in front of you. You got Bugattis and Enzo Ferraris and private jets and yacht, and you big balling. And you won't cut these people their money? Now, Skip, I believe that he would have taken this fight anyway. It's hard to turn down $200, $300 million, Skip. But it looks to me that a major driving force between him, because I always thought it was Conor that wanted to fight. He wanted the big payday.
Yep.
But deep down, Floyd needed this payday because he got to settle a score. And let me tell you how the IRS works, Skip.
Do you have experience?
I have experience with him.
Okay.
Experience.
Why? Because Gervonta wasn't just Floyd's star student. He was allegedly part of the back-end business Floyd was using to move money around.
How does that guy not pay taxes? How does the people around him, how do the lawyers that I'm sure that he employs, the financial people that are probably running his life, telling him to stop spending $1 million a day, how do they not deal with his taxes?
Well, listen, he apparently had a tough time reading the thing, as they say. Like he didn't know what he couldn't read like.
That's BS.
Something.
That is
that
BS.
They said something
Time
like
out.
that.
He is paying. I'm sure he's got a litany of people in his world.
I happen to agree.
Financial management people.
You think so?
How long before he's suing somebody for mismanagement of funds?
Listen,
you know that's happening.
You'd certainly think so. By the way, they announced, I'll get your calls in a second, they did announce the pricing for Mayweather-McGregor. $100 for a high def, $90 for standard def. So there you go. So it's exactly what the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was. $100 pay-per-view.
Let's be real. Floyd's empire wasn't built on clean checks and boxing gloves. It was a house of cards built on cash, North Dakota, as shell companies, and straight-up silence. And guess who was listed on multiple business filings? Yup, Tank. So when the FBI subpoenaed Floyd's financial records and started combing through off-the-book transactions, Gervonta's name popped up in more than one sketchy wire. That was enough to make the feds go, okay, we're knocking on his door too. The raid wasn't just about Gervonta. They were looking for anything that connected back to Floyd's shady dealings. And what they found inside Davis's mansion? Well, let's just say it raised more questions than it answered.
He gave you the spotlight. Like, why would he try to diminish your career? Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept Snapchat.
Let's keep it a buck. This could wreck Tank Davis's career. Sponsors are already pulling back. PBC insiders are distancing themselves. Word on the street is 2 upcoming fights, including a rumored mega rematch with Ryan Garcia, are now on hold. And let's talk about legacy, because Gervonta's entire persona was built on being the next Floyd. He wasn't just a fighter, he was an empire in the making. Merge drops, club appearances, real estate, endorsements. Now, all of that is at risk.
You still early in the game. What do you want your legacy to be when it comes to this game, man? You dig what I'm saying?
Beat the system.
That's system. What's the system of boxing?
Beat the system of boxing, life. Just beat the system. Be able to spread my wings and had my people next to me spread their wings. That's it. I ain't really got no big goal of this sports and all that. I just want to get my money and just remove myself.
And here's the crazy part. He was on the brink of GOAT conversation. Knockout machine. A southpaw nightmare. The kind of raw, marketable talent that boxing desperately needs. But scandals don't just cost money. They cost time, trust, and title shots.
But I must say this. The most exciting fighter that's acting and fighting in boxing right now is Gervonta Tank Davis. When Gervonta Tank Davis go out there and fight, he reminds me of Pretty Boy Floyd. Because Pretty Boy Floyd, you couldn't go get no popcorn. You couldn't go get no soda. You couldn't go get no candy. You don't want to miss nothing.
We've seen too many careers fall apart before they reach their peak. And if Davis doesn't clean this up fast, he might be next. Now look, if you've been following Gervonta Davis for more than 5 minutes, you already know This is not his first rodeo with the law. Like, this man's rap sheet low-key looks longer than his undefeated record. The dude is undeniably talented in the ring, but outside of it, he's been collecting legal drama like it's a hobby.
A well-known boxer accused of domestic violence has bonded out of jail. Gervonta Davis walked out earlier today. That's after a judge gave him a $1,000 bond. Davis was scheduled to headline a boxing match next week in Washington, D.C. It's unknown if that's going to happen.
Let's rewind real quick. Back in 2020, Gervonta went viral for all the wrong reasons when he was caught on camera yanking his ex-girlfriend by the neck at a basketball game. Yup, in public, with cameras rolling. That incident led to charges of simple battery domestic violence. He turned himself in, but the damage was done. Sponsors started backing off, and even fans were questioning if Tank was spiraling. Fast forward to 2021, and it gets worse. Gervonta was involved in a hit-and-run in Baltimore, allegedly crashed his Lamborghini into another car, injuring multiple people, and then dipped. No license, no insurance, no nothing. And here's the kicker. He left behind an injured pregnant woman. That alone had people calling for serious jail time.
She's getting ready to leave.
So why did she?
Because then she told the other deputy that you hit her.
Right. So she want something to happen since I.
Well, maybe she does. Maybe she does. But this is what happens when when folks don't get along. I got to figure it out. You're being a little evasive with me.
Oh.
Because every time I ask you a question, you suck your teeth and you say, "Oh, come on, man, you know what's going on." You're not giving me any really straight answers. I asked you to give me your driver's license, you bring me out a passport. I asked to see your daughter, you said, no, I don't want her to see the police.
I showed you.
You did, but I wanted to see her. And now I'm going to have to talk to her because she said that when you hit her, it was in front of her, the baby. The 4-year-old. Because you're going to go to jail.
Turn around.
For battery,
Turn around.
domestic violence.
Put your hands behind your back.
You got handcuffs?
Hey, the little one inside.
You don't gotta ask me about it.
Well, we need to make sure she's with somebody.
She's okay. She's with somebody.
Okay, listen, I get you that you're upset, but we can't just say. What's your first name? What's your first name? We can't just say that she's just with somebody. We have a duty to make sure that she's with the right people. Okay, so where's the mother of that child? What's his first name?
Gervonta.
Gervonta.
Listen, real quick. It's either that.
Ain't no more talking.
No, there is more talking because otherwise.
It's not.
And let's not forget the house arrest situation. After pleading guilty in that hit-and-run case, he was sentenced to 90 days of house arrest at his trainer's home. But guess what? He broke the rules. Tank just casually decided to switch houses without court permission, like probation rules were a suggestion. The judge was not having it. Boom, he got thrown into actual jail to finish his sentence.
Baltimore native and boxing champ Gervonta "Tank" Davis is sent to jail less than a month after he was ordered to serve 3 months of home detention. He was taken into custody after an impromptu hearing yesterday, and now he will finish his 90-day sentence in the Baltimore City Jail. Deputies say Davis violated the terms of his home detention sentence in a 2020 hit-and-run crash. He said his home was too small, so he moved to the Four Seasons Hotel, but did not get permission from the judge. He received his 90-day sentence after pleading guilty in February to a crash that injured 4 people.
So yeah, when the feds raided his mansion, it wasn't exactly shocking. Tank's been on thin ice for a while, and with his name now tangled in Floyd's investigation, it's starting to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. And if the legal drama wasn't enough, Tank hasn't exactly been Tank in the ring either. Like, where's the smoke? Where's the hunger? His latest fight against Lamont Roach had everyone scratching their heads. That bout? Straight up mid. We're talking about a fighter who used to knock people into next week, now barely surviving rounds. And it wasn't even a win. It ended in a controversial draw.
Cards. Judge at the ringside. Eric Marlinski scores about 115 to 113 in favor of Gervonta Davis. Judges Steve Weisfeld and Glenn Feldman both scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
But let's keep it real. Roach clearly had that fight. Most fans, analysts, even some in the media were calling it robbery light. Lamont outboxed, outpaced, and outworked him, and then boom, Tank literally took a knee in round 9.
I took a knee because I had a bet on the fight for there to be at least one knockdown, but this ref sold my parlay, man.
That moment felt like a switch flipped, not the Gervonta we used to fear, but someone going through the motions. The aura is fading. That old Tank, the one who used to walk through shots and blast guys with no remorse? Yeah, he's been missing. Now, we got Gervonta in interviews talking about retirement or worse, calling out YouTubers like Jake Paul. Jake's out here putting on influencer shows, and Tank, you were one of boxing's top dogs. Seeing him even entertain that matchup, it's giving desperation, not legacy.
Things over to you, Tank. This is a huge fight for the DMV area. Does that add a little extra motivation, him being from DC, from Baltimore, going into this fight?
Not really. Like, I've been coming up and coming to DC like for a minute since I was young, so I don't really see like, you know, like the.
It's more so for the crowd. It ain't necessarily between me and him, DC, Baltimore, but like for the crowd, it definitely is. As a area thing, it is.
Now, Tank, Roach said earlier today that, you know, he feels like the guys that you've knocked out recently don't have a chin. What's your response to that?
We got to test his chin out. Come watch the first.
We ain't on that. Motherfuckers don't hit me.
What's your reaction to that, Lamont? You said, you know, you feel like guys.
That's what we gonna be in there for. He same thing he gonna try to test. I'm gonna try to test.
You say my post, right?
You said, which one?
Well, I told you to leave the kids home.
My son gonna be front and center.
So, between disappointing fights, sketchy decisions, and now cloud-chasing crossover callouts, it's clear something's off. The Gervonta that had the division on lock? He's either checked out or running on fumes. And with feds knocking and fans losing interest, this fall-off is looking real permanent.
I don't want to be in the scene, like, I don't want to be seen and stuff like no more. I don't want to be, like, had that target on my back, you know what I mean? So I like to play, like, lay low and things like that and, like, chill for the most part. Be with people that's going to be with me day in, day out.
So what happens now? Gervonta hasn't spoken publicly yet. His legal team's only statement? We are cooperating fully. But let's not sugarcoat it. This isn't just a PR scandal. It's a legal battle. It's career-threatening. It could even end in criminal charges. This is a moment of truth for Gervonta Davis. Is he going to be another superstar who crashes and burns under the weight of fame? Or will he fight his way through the chaos and prove everyone wrong? Whatever happens, this story is just getting started. The raid, the footage, the connections to Mayweather, it's all pointing to one thing. Boxing's money machine is breaking down, and the feds are holding the wrench. Let us know what you think. Down in the comments, was this just another celebrity witch hunt? Or is the tank really running out of gas? Smash that like button if you want updates on this story, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I'll catch you in the next video.